people say, oh, why shouldn't I? Or I won't do this or I won't do that. I could walk out the house tomorrow and get hit by a bus. Why does no one say, Craig, why are you leaving for work in the morning? You might get hit by a bus. If you're going to go through your life thinking like that, you're never going to get anywhere. As a creator, you're wanting to leverage other channels, other traffic sources to push people onto the video, because that's what converts really well. People want to buy into people. They want to see your video. That is what converts.
This is Craig Campbell. He's a 7-figure SEO expert and YouTuber with over 22 years of experience in the industry. Craig has gone from freelancer to agency owner and then pivoted towards the affiliate marketing side of things. He has a very unique approach to growing a following, getting attention, and how he produces his content. Through his colorful and often profanity-filled messaging, he will teach anyone how they can make money online. In this episode, we dive into his pivot away from agency work, how he uses YouTube's paid advertising system as part of his SEO and community strategy, his opinion on people's fear of testing and trying something new, and how he has no money moves on the horizon. Craig is unfiltered in all of the best ways to make sure that you take action to build income online with YouTube. The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by GigaStar. I am so excited to talk with you, Craig. We had the privilege of meeting for the first time at TubeFest back in May, and now we get to dive into all the good stuff that you talked about. Oh, you're making all that money with SEO, so welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and hopefully I can add value to the audience.
Love it. Okay, first of all, what do you create on YouTube?
Educational videos, so people wanting to learn about SEO, whether that be keyword research or whatever it might be. So basically step-by-step guides on YouTube in terms of how to do SEO, digital marketing, paid search, all of that kind of stuff. I try and do over-the-shoulder tutorials to educate people. That's the main reason for the YouTube.
And how did you get to here? Like, how did you decide to get into this and the path that you're on?
I've been in this industry for 22 years. I started out the same as everyone else. I didn't really know where I was going with it. I just fancied a shot at it, and I was a freelancer for probably 3-4 years. Then I somehow inherited an agency. Well, not inherited, I hired other members of staff. And before you knew it, I was a fully fledged digital marketing agency, because I had people asking me for all sorts of different things, websites and everything. So I'm hiring web developers. Just like a puff of smoke, I'm in the middle of all this and I'm going, how did I get here? I've got all these people working for me. And I'd done that for probably about 9-10 years. It wasn't quite for me. I found it quite stressful, and I wasn't experienced enough to be in that position, in all honesty. Things weren't right within the business, and I kind of pivoted off in a different direction. About 2015 is when I gave up, running my own agency, and wanted to go down the affiliate marketing type route and maybe not have big teams, because I was struggling to grow further than where I was, and I did do okay with the agency, but the wheels were starting to fall off. The more clients I was taking on and the more staff I was getting, the more headache I was getting. I wasn't seeing the money in my pocket. Essentially, I was seeing more stress, less money, which is not what we're here for. So I decided to go down the affiliate route and build a personal brand, just because I felt that was the right thing to do at the time. Speak at conferences and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know why I chose to do that, because there's obviously pain points in doing that as well. But decided that was the path that I wanted to go down, and here I am, still doing it, speaking at conferences, doing YouTube, doing different businesses, buying and selling websites, making money on YouTube, doing affiliate. And I just wanted to, the biggest thing I can really say is I hated relying on that single source of income from clients. You're basically begging them every month to pay you money. Please, Mr. Client, we're doing great work here. You're basically singing for your money. And I always wanted to diversify my income stream. So I make money like from YouTube advertisements. I make money from e-com stores I've got. I make money over here, there, and everywhere. And that for me is a nice position to be in. And I would always advise people that diversify your traffic sources, diversify your income streams. Don't just rely on a single source of income. And I felt that running that agency, I was solely reliant on other people paying me. And that doesn't always happen, as we know.
I think that's really powerful thing to say. Like, it's kind of like, I think why entrepreneurs, we think about, at least in the creator space, if I wanted one source of income, I'd have a job. And I think that, so many people, especially I think in a post-COVID world, the idea of having one job seems like an incredibly risky way to make money. And diversifying your income, even if it's just doing like having like a side hustle or, doing investments and things like that, like it's a really important thing with what you're doing. Why do you think it is that creators seem to understand this so much better than, in my opinion, everybody else?
It's weird. I genuinely don't know the answer to that. When I speak to people like yourself or, anyone I meet across the world when I'm traveling, I'm always fortunate enough to meet these people and they just get it. They just do get it. They understand what you're talking about. But, when you talk to other people in the outside world, they don't know what you're talking about. Your friends, your family, they're just like, shut up, Craig. But, get on with it. But, people like us, we just get it. And I don't know, it's the weirdest bunch of people I've ever met. I mean, I love them. I mean that in a positive way. But yeah, you just think, we are all very similar. Our brains work the same. We don't like authority. We want to pick our own hours. We want to, we're just a bit odd. Is the best way to say it. And that's why I love meeting people and I love hearing stories of how you make money or how whoever else makes money. I love hearing the different angles, the different ways people think, the different niches that people are in, and I think that's where I get a lot of value and inspiration from. And it's why I like going out to these conferences, because people go, Craig, you're always traveling, you're always doing this. Just ideas always come to mind, contacts come to mind. So yeah, we just get it. And that's the kind of people I want to surround myself with. I don't want to be surrounded myself with boring people. For years, I didn't go to conferences when I ran the agency and I wasn't really gaining any traction anywhere. I wasn't getting any new knowledge. I wasn't getting any new inspiration. I didn't know what anyone else was up to. And I might look at someone like yourself at a conference and get chatting to you and you just say one stupid thing and you're like, fuck. Why did I not think of that? Can I add this into something that I'm doing and make it better? Whether it be a stupid little tool that you use, whether that be Opus Clip to chop up your stuff, whatever. It could just be the smallest of things that add to my process and it just makes things a little bit easier along the way. And again, just surrounding yourself with the right type of people is what I want to do. And I don't know why we just get it, but I actively spend my time traveling to be closer to these people because I do. People don't think you pick up a lot, but it's small little things. I don't go to a conference to think I'm going to pick up a heap of new stuff. We're not there. That I'm past that stage. It's this little nuances, little different ways of thinking. That is what makes a big difference to me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. People are always like, you're always going places, you're always doing things, you're always traveling. Because I like you, I love going to events, and I always like to have the joke that like I do it because I'm a very extroverted person and I live in the country and I work in my basement and I'm by myself all the time, so I need to go people. But I really do think like there's a lot to be said in that. Like people know things. And I just want to know all the things that everybody does, whether I agree with it or it would work for me or not. It's still valuable information to understand like our industry or like where things are going or what things that you can pay attention to. Because in the creator space, I feel like even we are like leaps and bounds ahead of like what marketers are doing, because usually marketers are the ones that ruin the things that we're doing. And then the rest of the world catches up later. Like can't tell you how many business professionals in my own town I talk to and know that don't even have like a website or like a Facebook page or a Google My Business. And I'm just like, how do you business? I don't understand. But, we're in this totally different space where we're just like always paying attention to what's going on and seeing what's happening and learning new things. Now, on the top of learning new things, the big thing that stood out to me when I was listening to your talk was how you have sort of gamified, I don't know if that's the right word, but gamified getting traffic to your content and how it supports what you do with affiliate marketing. I would love for you to share with us your ad strategy that you're using to get traffic. And I have questions that will come from it, but I want to start with your information first.
So obviously when we're in Birmingham at TubeFest, I spoke a bit about how YouTube in particular, in order to rank organically on there, because it's the second biggest search engine in the world behind Google. If you want something, want to know how to fix something, you want to know different information, you put it in the YouTube search bar. So as an SEO, I don't just think about creating content. I think about how I get that content ranking. And one of the biggest things when it comes to YouTube is engagement signals, traffic, watch time, blah, 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 blah. Now, if I want a YouTube video to rank, I need a lot of people, or not a lot, but you need a bunch of people to hit that video when you release it so that it looks as if it's going viral. Now, gamifying that, whether you're using paid ads or whatever it may be, it's perfectly legal to do. So a lot of people say, oh, that might impact this and that. Now, I did mention there that, in the past, people have used bots to do that and various other things. Now, you now have things like the YouTube promotion tab. You can use Facebook ads, you can use Reddit ads, you can use Pinterest, you can use your own social media to force people over to your video, whether that be through paid or just organic. You can force people onto the video. That engagement, that watch time, and all of that kind of stuff is going to help your video rank, because that's what these platforms are for. The more engagement, it's the same whether it's in TikTok or whatever, the more engagement that video gets, it's shown to a wider audience, then a wider audience, and a wider audience. Now, if you think logically about that, you need to gamify that. If you're starting and you're a nobody, how are you going to get your video to rank? You're going to have to throw some money at it, or you're going to have to do something in order to get those organic slots. If you want that traction, you want the subscribers, you want that exposure, you can't come from behind and expect to beat all of the guys that have been doing it for 10 years above you, unless you do something to rank well, because that's where you're going to be found. That's where you're going to get most of your growth from. And we had people going, oh, that sounds a bit dodgy. That it's perfectly legal of course the bot side of it is probably where a lot of people frown, but they didn't understand. I said you can use a bot, but you can also use paid traffic, you can use a mailing list, you can use push notification subscribers, you can send real traffic to the channel. You cannot be penalized in any way for sending real traffic to your YouTube channel. It's impossible. It's organic, it's natural. It is the ecosystem that you're building as a creator. You're wanting to leverage other channels, other traffic sources to push people onto the video, because that's what converts really well. People want to buy into people. They want to see your video. That is what converts. So whether I can, get an email out there and say to people, hey, if you don't want to read this whole email, I've got a short 2-minute video here or 3-minute video or whatever it may be, come and watch it here. I personally consume video content. I hate reading blog posts. I hate reading emails. I hate reading long-winded stories. I like to be short, sharp, to the point, job done. And for me, gamifying that is something you have to do. Why wouldn't I? I've got a big emailing list. I've got 6,000 push notification subscribers. It would be wrong of me not to show my push notification subscribers the content that I'm putting out. I'm a marketing guy. I'm that's what we do. So it's crazy that people don't do it. I think it's just, common sense.
I talked to a lot of people about you after Tube Fest, and all positive. And I was just, we were all, the overall questions are what the ones I'm going to ask you. And a lot of it was like, I would never. And then it was like, okay, but, and then I talked about the things that you had said, and they're like, I just don't understand how it would work. And so here are my questions that I have and that we have come together to ask about the ad strategy very specifically, because if we believe, I think that as YouTubers, I think if we have this thought process in our head that if we have to pay for people to watch our stuff, then we're not good YouTubers. Because if we can't get found by organic traffic, or we can't let our titles and our thumbnails get us the attention that we're supposed to have, and we can't access our audience and stuff, we're obviously bad YouTubers. And to that, my argument was, I have had a lot of problems with my YouTube channel. I have been very consistent with my channel. I talk about the same things, but like modern, updated versions of them, new ways that people are using it. I add in the new stuff. When people are talking about TikTok, I talked about TikTok. When we are talking about live streaming, I'm teaching about live streaming. We're talking about what's happening with Facebook, Instagram, all the things, because I talk very specifically about online marketing. The traffic to my content has slowly gone down. And while it has plateaued, it's plateaued about 60% lower than what I was doing. And there's no reason. And I have had countless people look at my channel, like people at YouTube. I've had people that are professional coaches. I've had people at the conference I went to look at the channel. And they're like, I don't understand why you're having this problem. And so To me, when I heard what you were talking about, my thought process was like, if I could put ad dollars behind my content just to reactivate my existing audience, the people that have already watched stuff that maybe they're just not seeing it because they didn't watch a couple of videos, or like it got pushed down, or they have so many other subscribers, or how they're interacting with YouTube has changed, like how their home feed works has changed. Why wouldn't I do that? Which leads to the question of, okay, if I do that, what happens then? So the question I have to first answer within this is, if I put ad dollars behind, let's say, one video, what happens to my other videos during that time?
Obviously, your other videos, they're not going to be getting the traffic from that particular ad. But if you put ad dollars, people say, if I have to pay for it, I'm not a good YouTuber, or if I have to pay for it, will YouTube's algorithm want paid all the time for all of my videos? That's not how it works. That's insanity to think of that. That's a wrong mindset to have, in my opinion. There's nothing to suggest that that is the case. Now, what happens is, and again, people read into what you say and come up with, a whole bunch of different conclusions. For me, I don't have to pay now for promotions if I don't want to. If I was to promote a video, am I going to get organic reach? Yes, of course I am. I built up the subscribers, I built up this, that, and the next thing. It can all be organic. For me, in order to rank, so my point in this is, if I want to beat you on a particular search term, and I've got one subscriber and you've got, I don't know, 20,000, I'm going to have to do something to get that watch time up for me to be even coming close to ranking with you. Why would YouTube put me up next to you without any engagement? So I don't think you've got an option if you're that far behind. Now, also, potentially with the likes of your channel, have you been consistent uploading content? You're probably going to say, no, I slipped off for a few months there. I was traveling, I got busy. People are talking about uploading a video a day and all this kind of stuff. Consistency is really important as well. But can you use some paid dollars to reactivate your old audience? Of course you can. That's insanity to think that that's going to harm you. YouTube is not a big bad monster, and neither is Google or any of these other platforms where we all try to create content. People come up with these conclusions, but what I would always say is, many companies out there, some of the biggest companies in the world, are putting paid ad spend behind a lot of their stuff, and they're maybe not using it as wisely as I'm suggesting. You are trying to force people onto the YouTube to get a better organic ranking. You're not there to fool people into thinking you get more views than you got or anything like that. When I say you're doing that, getting 500 views on your video is enough for it to rank. I can get a video to rank in an hour like that. I'm not suggesting that you go and blast it out, for big amounts of money. You just need that video to get some form of traction in order to rank well. Two very different things is ranking well on YouTube and just stuffing, putting stuff out there organically. I want to rank well, and that algorithm does need that engagement, and it sticks, because what happens from then is organically you rank well, and when people are searching, your growth and your watching and everything all starts to become organic. And the more you do of that, the more organic reach you get. So you're just doing this to kind of stimulate the system, if you like, and then you can take your foot off the gas.
If, let's say, like when we put this video up on YouTube, we promoted it so that it could get seen more on home feed and stuff. And then we take the appropriate middle of the grade, let's say, attention that we want to do, whatever that is. What will then happen to that video long term? Like, because we stopped the ads, will it still stop being found or stop being seen? Like, I think that the questions that everybody has around it is like, okay, I run an ad, then what? Like, I had people that were saying stuff like, while I'm running an ad on one video, what happens to all of my other videos during that time? Are they just not searchable, foundable? Is it going to be like Facebook, where if I put ad dollars behind a video, if I don't do that every single time, none of my content will get seen again, or it's going to get really nerfed down, because Facebook does that to its ad platform. You boost something, you promote something, and then your reach, like, countless people talk about like their reach drops by like 75% on their content until they put more money behind it, because Facebook's like, well, you paid once and now you have to pay forever. And then also, how does it help the organic reach of the content that the other content, the future post, or that existing video you ran ads for it? Does it have the potential to be found organically in the future? Like, it's a lot of those kinds of mystery questions. And the thing that also sucks that's paired with it is no one will test it because they don't want to mess up their channels.
This is the problem. So, some of those questions here are absolutely ridiculous. Such as, what happens to the rest of my videos? Are they no longer going to be seen because I'm running an ad to one video? I mean, that is just, who picked that up? Where did that come from? Has that ever happened to anyone? The answer is
They
no.
don't know. They don't know. Literally, that's why the question exists.
But they're just plucking shit out their ass, a reason not to fucking do it. There's nothing out there to suggest that you promoting one video is going to harm any of your other content. That has never ever happened to anyone. Now, what happens when you promote a video and you get this engagement and you stop promoting that video? Organically, that video will stick and it will rank because it's had X amount of views. It sticks organically. So a year later, if I go and look at a video, it still ranks organically. So these myths, people are not prepared to test. So people say, oh, why shouldn't I? Or I won't do this or I won't do that. I could walk out the house tomorrow and get hit by a bus. Why does no one say, Craig, why are you leaving for work in the morning? You might get hit by a bus. If you're going to go through your life thinking like that, you're never going to get anywhere. So you have to fucking try it out. And all I would say to anyone with those type of questions is, show me one fucking instance where someone has paid to promote a video legally and had all their other videos not be seen by YouTube. That is insanity. I mean, people at YouTube, ask someone in YouTube at that, they would laugh in your face. It's just...
Well, especially my argument comes back to they added the promotions tab to our studios. It's not this untapped, untouchable thing where you have to be some Google advertiser or understand how all of the back end things work. It's literally like, no, this is here now. We understand that YouTube can be a crowded, busy place. And we want to help you, but in order for us to help you, like, we've done so much to help you. Like, we have this platform, we have this stuff. We of course have our organic algorithm. Like, you can see when you upload the videos, we're giving you this many impressions, all of these things. But it's like, if you're looking to get in front of a different target demographic or rewrite how like your audience is or reactivate your audience, especially like you said, I loved your example of you take a break. Why would it, like, that's why it exists. Why would YouTube give you something that would punish you?
Yeah, but also, what I would also say as well, you have AdSense on your YouTube, right? Now, because you've got AdSense on your YouTube, I have got the ability to place my ads on your YouTube channel. That's not new. That's something you could have done for the last 10 years. Again, when you're talking about getting engagement onto your YouTube channel, if I want to tap into your audience for whatever reason, if I feel that your audience aligns very much with who I want to be subscribing to me, I could have done Google Ads on your channel after your video, before your video, during your video. That is what I'm talking about. And that has legally, by Google and YouTube, been done for many years. I'm not even talking about new things. People are going, oh, fuck, this all sounds dodgy. What if? It's fucking legal. You look at Tai Lopez. How did Tai Lopez get so big? Because he paid to play. He paid to get himself out there. He now doesn't have to pay because he's one of the biggest entrepreneurs out there who makes a shit ton of money. These guys, you have to pay to play. If you want to be that bottom feeder who says, oh, one of my videos might not work because I've done a bit of paid promotion. Come on, man. That's just, absolutely a ridiculous way to think about things.
It does seem a little dated. Like, and I remember I talked to one of my friends where she had considered doing it and someone had mentioned it and they're like, no, do that. But it was like 2018. And I'm like, it's different worlds now. Like, I always like think about content creation in like before COVID, after COVID kind of way. And I think that we're even in like a post-COVID like content creation world where now it's like, okay, all these content creators came out of the woodwork and all these people tried to figure it out. And then like the ones that are staying are the ones that are figuring out versus the ones that like walk away or go back to jobs or just realize it's a lot of work and step away from it. And so it's like we're in this like new phase of like how content creation works. And I think that, when you look at it from a business perspective, if you look at it from like all of the sponsors that we work with or the affiliates that we work with and the brand partners that we have, it would make sense for them to put ad dollars behind the content that they've already paid you to do to make sure it can be more successful because they know that people believe influencers more than brands themselves. It's not that brands aren't trustworthy. It's just that we trust people more than we trust logos. And so like you can do it. People do it all the time, like on Meta, like at Instagram, they have that brand partnership feature there on purpose so that those brands can then amplify your content through advertising opportunities. I think that YouTube is realizing that that could be an option for brands as well. I don't think that it's something that people should not consider. I think that people should consider, okay, I've been doing all of these things. If I'm trying to get ample reach, or I'm trying to get, more views or attention onto something, or I want to really perform well for a video for a brand partnership, or I really want, like I know in your case, like I really want to amp up an affiliate. I'm going to do this to get it the attention that I can do if it's not going to cost me too much money.
Yeah. And, you can get in front of the right audience. So me, I'm targeting you. I might want to sell something to your audience, whether that be a SaaS tool or whatever. I throw some dollars behind it and I take your audience. Simple and easy. Why wouldn't you do it? It's there. That's what advertising is. So for me, I think you've just got to get your hands dirty and try it out. I can't see the negative impacts long term on your channel. You either do it or you don't. When you spend money, you'll get more engagement. Of course that happens, but does that impact your overall organic reach? I've not seen that across any platform. And Facebook, I can't really comment on. I've got a personal profile and I've got a Facebook page. Yes, I do boost stuff through my Facebook page. Never boost anything through my profile, so I wouldn't know either way, the difference between the two of them. But again, I've never seen anything to suggest that when I do post something organically, has any less of a reach. Of course, it's going to get more of a reach if you do paid. That goes without saying. But I don't see, because I'm not paying, I don't get any more reach. And I do similar on Instagram. I boost certain pieces of content or clips from podcasts and whatnot. If I've said something, I'll clip it and maybe boost it if it's something that I feel is relating to the audience. And sometimes I don't. And again, I don't see me being punished for not promoting it. But again, it's you've just got to test it, and I've not personally seen any of the kind of things that you've asked there.
I love that you were able to clarify that for all those who are curious. Okay, so we've talked about how you grow. We've talked about a very unique way that you are using money to grow your channel. I would love to know from a content creation sort of perspective, when have you experienced a really crappy money situation? I know that you talked about how the agency was a little bit of a bleed for you for a while, and that's why you pivoted. Talk with us about while being a content creator, doing affiliates, all the things that you do, a bad money experience that you had.
To be honest, since I pivoted to building a personal brand and doing all this stuff, I've never had a situation where I've struggled, to be honest. Hand on heart, I did struggle with the agency and had horrible times, a few clients drop off. But what I've seen since doing the kind of personal branding thing is I'm not saying I've grown, year on year on year on year, 5 times or anything like that. But I've always seen constant progression. But that's probably also due to my ability to keep trying different things and trying to get different income streams, get different business partners on board as well to kind of scale up certain businesses that I've got. So hand on heart, I've not seen too many in the way of failures. Now, at the start of my affiliate journey, yes, I entered a few affiliate websites or niches that were problematic. So I entered the e-cigarette space, and I'm an impulsive guy. I always jump into something two-footed. I don't really give too much of a second thought. So e-cigarettes came out, and I'm like, whoa, the search volume on this is really good. Let's fucking do it. It's new. It's going to be big. I'm hungry for the money. And what I didn't realise until about 6 months later was the red tape in terms of doing paid advertising around e-cigarettes, because it's nicotine, and you couldn't do Google ads, you couldn't do Facebook ads, you couldn't do a lot of that type of stuff. So all had to be organic. And trying to get something that competitive off the ground with no help through paid made it a much harder task. And I just thought, do you know what? This niche is not for me. This is a problem. And obviously what was happening as well with the organic stuff was, we're sending stuff out to people, they pretend it got lost and they get another one sent out, the usual douchebaggery. So I've had issues like that. I also entered the women's clothing niche. Again, if you just put in women's clothing into SEMrush or whatever it may be, you'll see the search volume on it is crazy. But women return their clothes a hell of a lot, and you probably do the same yourself, as my wife does. And we were working on a low margin, high volume game when it comes to women's clothing. And the amount of women who returned the stuff, which basically ate into any profit we had, basically fucked that business up. So very early on, I was able to say, get something that's a digital download. Do not hold stock. Do not get involved in women's clothing because they return things, So there was problems like that where I have made mistakes at very early in my career in the affiliate marketing side, but I was a fairly well versed SEO guy anyway, so I knew quite a lot, but I still fell into those traps. So once I ironed those kinks out, I then kind of said, right, I now know how to make money. I know what to avoid. Let's go and some businesses.
What has been your most successful financial moment as a content creator?
Most successful as a content creator? My first ever YouTube sponsor. It wasn't the most lucrative, but when you're doing YouTube, and most content creators will be able to relate to this, you're sat with your laptop looking at your little camera and you're churning out content, and you don't realise the kind of impact of certain things that you say has on other people. But when the first person who wanted to sponsor my YouTube channel approached me and offered me an amount of money, they said to me, Craig, how much do you want? And I'm like, I don't know, I've never done this before. So I spoke to a few friends, rung up a few friends, and I'm like, how much should I charge? And literally I plucked a figure out of my ass and said it to the person, and the person said, right, that's fine, that's it, agreed, and they wired the money to me straight away. And I'm like, fuck, I've massively undersold that there. It was a significant amount of money. I'm not going to say how much it was, but a fair chunk of money for a year's sponsorship. And that was probably the easiest, most rewarding money, but also opened my eyes up to what being a creator is all about. Yes, I've done webinars, I've done podcasts, I've done everything. I've spoke at conferences, but you just don't realise until someone says to you, like, your channel is really good and you're putting out good content, we like you and we like your style and we like this. That was the kind of biggest, maybe I am doing something right here. Whereas sometimes when you're doing the channel at the start, I've had the channel since 2016 on YouTube, and it took me, I think it was 2020 where I got that sponsorship deal. So it was 4 years into the YouTube journey. Obviously, COVID had come out and conferences had stopped and people were at home. And my YouTube channel really took off at that point, which, it's one of those things. It was just timing, the money came in and you're like, fuck, it's just that was quite, personally rewarding, I think.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, it's awesome because it shows you what you can do and it gets you on the path of figuring out how it can become more lucrative for you. Speaking of lucrative, one of the things that we do differently on the podcast is that we break down your income streams into a pie chart based on percentages and where they come from. So some of the ones that we have on here is 17% of your incomes comes from sponsorships and 23% comes from affiliates. Right now, what are some of your most successful sponsorships and affiliates that you're really excited about?
The sponsorship side of it, so a lot of the SaaS tool providers that are out there, what excites me about this stuff, obviously the money excites me, you get paid to promote these tools, but what they do is also give me first-hand information in terms of new functions, new features that are coming out, and they want me to be first out with the news to promote that to my audience, to get them into the SaaS. So what I get a lot of, which quite excites me, is beta or however you pronounce it in America, is access to a lot of these tools. So I get to see things and help tweak them before they go live to the public. Because they're like, Craig, we want you to promote this. I think your audience fits for this. Can you try this out? Give us your feedback on it as an SEO guy. Does this work? Does that work? So that, obviously the money is the number one reason why we're all here. We all want to make money. But secondary to that, you can be quite, in there with up-to-date information, with AI and various other tools. I've had lots of companies come to me and they're like, Craig, I want you to try this out. We're going to add this feature. It's going to do that. It's going to pull data from here. And, I found that I'm getting information a lot quicker than I typically would have just sat there waiting like everyone else. And that excites me because I do love technology. I do love innovation. I do love, the industry that we work in. And, I love all of the kind of stuff that we've got. And I think it's great to be able to get even having a small input in some of this stuff as well in terms of what I like or what I'd like to see. So I've done that with a lot of different SaaS things whilst doing sponsorships with them. They do value the feedback, and also, selfishly, I get to play with the tools before anyone else.
That is nice.
That kind of thing excites me on the sponsorship side. In terms of affiliate, again, that kind of ties in with the sponsorship side as well, because it's very easy for me as an affiliate, if I'm first hand with the information or the latest new tool or whatever it may be that wows people, it doesn't take a lot to sell it. So when you're first out with the information saying, oh, look, we can now do this, or we can now do that, or this does that, or that does that, you're literally making money for call. So, that ties in well with the affiliate side of it. And obviously sponsorship and affiliates, they don't always go hand in hand. Sometimes the biggest problem I've got is on YouTube, a lot of people don't click on the link in the description. They don't. When you watch a YouTube video at home, you don't click on a link in the description. So the biggest problem is attribution in terms of what you've brought to something from affiliate marketing, from YouTube in particular, when you're doing an email list or whatever. But YouTube, people listen and then they'll just go and Google. So they could hear me and you talking about OP, for example, and they'll go and Google OP's clip and they go there. I'm not getting anything for it because they never clicked on a link on my website just because I've said it. So sometimes I do sponsorships. I'm doing more sponsorships than affiliate because the sponsorship deals, they'll just pay me to promote the thing as a one-off fee. Now, yes, I'm giving up the affiliate fee.
I would run into the issue where they would already have signed up and then I would solve their problems. And that was the issue I kept running into, which is why when I do my agreements, I usually request both as well. So that it's sort of like if someone already has it and they're like, that's why I've showed up on their algorithm, or they found me in some weird way because they're trying to solve some problem I'm doing for them. That's kind of how way to hack that issue that happens with when sponsorships and affiliates can go kind of wonky.
You also need to watch the cookie policy on that though, because I've had the issues with this where people have came through me solving a problem. They've signed up to the platform previously or tested it out on a free trial, but I've solved the problem. They come on board and I don't get the commission because they've already platform. So you're not getting last click attribution, which is what it should be. So again, when it comes to affiliate, you do need to look at those stupid cookie policies because let's be honest, they don't want to fucking pay out for every bit of traffic that they get. That's the bottom line. So you need to be careful of that. And I think, as a creator who creates content, I need to make money as well. And, I do sometimes get sick and tired of the affiliates being shafted, which is why a lot of or my percentage of sponsorship income is increasing somewhat, certainly from a YouTube perspective.
So next on your pie chart is you have 14% of your income comes from memberships. What is your membership?
So I've got a private mastermind that I have going on, which I charge people a monthly fee to come in, and we'll talk about all things digital marketing. We do 3 Zoom calls a week, hour-long sessions, and the people collectively will decide what those are. So whether that be, let's talk about the YouTube promotions tab today, or let's talk about cookie policies when it comes to affiliate marketing, or let's find, how to find a niche. There's a community there that I've built up, and, it's been going for 3 years now. It makes me reasonable money for what it is. Hopefully, people have always said you offer a lot of value, and we do Q&A sessions, do everything in there, and it's to kind of also give back. I don't charge an arm and a leg for it, but it's to also give back to people, because again, I've made a lot of mistakes and I can tell people what not to do. I can help your journey become quicker than the 22 years I've been in this industry. So I do that, which is something you can find on my website if you're ever interested.
I love that. And we'll make sure to have the link to all of that stuff in our show notes at thefunnedyoutuber.com for sure. Cause I think that's really valuable. I don't know anybody. I know people that have masterminds. I don't know people that lead. And I think that is an incredibly valuable thing. I have one that I've had for over a year, and we meet every Monday, and it's been invaluable to all of our businesses to problem solve, ask questions, and we all do wildly different things for our content creation. So it's really helpful. You also have on here that 5% of your income from paid emails. Now, you're our first one to do this. So tell us about your paid emails.
Again, having built up a reputation in this industry, as a speaker, as, someone training on YouTube and everything else, I've built up a massive email subscriber list, and obviously I get paid to pump out emails. And so, yeah, it's simple and easy. It just comes as a natural progression. I get probably 10 requests a day. I can't do that, burn my email list very, very quickly. So I've got to be fairly selective in terms of what I'm pumping out. But yeah, paid emails it works well.
I think what I love about the whole paid email thing that is like, I think it's been like the buzz product of 2024, where people like do a paid email, do a Substack, do this, that, and the other. What I love about it is like that statement that everyone used to say for a long time was email's dead. And I thought that was really funny and wrong. But the other thing I love is like, people don't want more email. I'm like, people are literally paying for more email. And so it's just one of those things that's like, it's about if you can offer the right value to people, to the right audience, like it's going to work great for you.
Oh, amazing. And also something I'm going to add to this. I was on my mastermind yesterday and I was talking to people. Now, I do a lot of free webinars and fucking bullshit like that. What I'm not fucking doing is I don't have a landing page where I'm collecting data. So I'm putting out a lot of free content and not collecting and building that emailing list, and it fucking kills me. So I'm now sorting that out because yes, I've got it on my website and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, data is key. Email is certainly not dead. An email list is fucking money, like real money. It's insanity how much money you can make. So anyone who does say email is dead is fucking insane, really insane.
I don't disagree with you at all. The other income streams that you have on here is 9% is from physical products, 12% from service, 10% from courses and digital products, and 10% from consulting and speaking, which you talked about a little bit in the beginning. To kind of wrap this up, what is the service that you offer since you walked away from your agency?
We do one very particular part of SEO. So I've got a link building agency, which, when the biggest pain point for me when I had an agency was talking to the clients and reporting every month. Now, that part was a pain point. What we do have is a lot of people who still are scared to build links. They're still scared or don't know how to get digital PR. So I've got an agency that does that called linksforyou.com. Now, people just come and they say, I don't want to do it. Now, I can explain how to do all of this stuff on YouTube. Do this, do that, do that. People don't want to fucking do it. People are lazy bastards. So we have a service where we do it for you. Now, what happens is you can buy one link, you can buy 10 links, you can buy a package, you can buy whatever you like. All we do is say, thank you for your money. Here's your link. We don't have to talk about algorithmic updates. We don't have to talk about, strategy or anything else. It's just a pay-as-you-go service, and you can buy as many as you want or whatever you think is best for your business. And, that is something, as an SEO guy, it was the one thing that I really started out with was link building. That was the part of SEO that I really, really enjoyed. And it makes perfect sense to offer that as a service. So that's the kind of one set. Obviously, consultancy, I do that as well, which is obviously on the pie chart as well. But, between the two of those, that's the kind of main things that I would like to offer to the public. I don't want to do client work and go to meetings and hold their hand and train them and educate them and do all the grunt work and writing all their content and all that stuff. That's I'm not equipped now I don't have the staff to be able to do that type of thing, and I don't want to do it. For you, if you came to me saying, Craig, can you do my SEO? I'd look at your website. Listen, Desiree, your content's shit. Go away and fucking write it yourself. You need more. I'm not going to sit and write about you and what you do and the services that you offer. You know that stuff better than me. And so agencies take on that type of work. And I just find that stressful because the clients don't give you, or you write it for the client and they don't like it and all this kind of stuff. So that's why I have that very specific service, because I find that easy and it's something that most clients want.
I love it. And I think it's a niche that you found that people need help with and that you can manage and offer reasonably, and it's in the scope of the work that you are willing to do. And I think that that's important. So we talked a lot about money and all the things that you've done and like how you're growing and what you're doing, how you've built your channel that's on the way to 1 million subscribers. What is your next money move?
I get asked this one a lot and I don't know. I don't try and overthink these things. And opportunities come up all the time, and it's just which one of those feel right at the right time. I do buy and sell a lot of digital assets, which I'll continue to do, but whether that's an e-com store that's selling skiing equipment or whether it's going to be something else, I don't know. It depends on what's offered to me. I will continue to diversify, continue to invest, but it's all about opportunities. For this year, for the first 6 months of the year, I took a bit of, I didn't take time off as such, but I just wanted to consolidate what I've got and make sure it was all refined and fine-tuned before I start taking other opportunities, because last year I probably tried to launch 4 or 5 businesses which really didn't get off the ground that well because I was spreading myself too thin. I didn't have the right structure, the right processes, the right time investment in terms of my input into the businesses. So I decided to put the brakes on for the first 6 months of this year to just make sure everything that I do have is on point, and then I can now look at other opportunities, because opportunities come around all of the time, whether you're in a pub, at an event, whatever. There's always a conversation and an opportunity, and I am that guy who tries to grab them all, and you can't do that. I'm just like, yeah, I'll do it. We could do this, we could make money together, and it doesn't always pan out that way.
I think it's about finding the right opportunity that you're going to do next. And sometimes it's not anything. Sometimes like I figured out and I'm doing what makes me happy. And I know that you're also like doubling down on like speaking more and expanding like what you're known for as an SEO connoisseur. So as always, thank you so much for your time today, Craig. It was incredible to talk to you and learn from you today. It was a true masterclass in all of the things. You can find all the information to connect with Craig over at thefundedyoutuber.com. Until next week, go make that money. Thanks again. Bye. The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by GigaStar, a parent company of GigaStar Market, an SEC-registered funding portal, and member of FINRA. Learn more at gigastar.io. Music provided by APM Music, unrivaled music to bring your stories to life. Neither GigaStar nor its affiliated companies provide legal, regulatory, financial, or tax advice. Any opinions expressed herein are those of the authors and are the informational purposes only. The information and opinions expressed herein are subject to change without notice and do not take into account the particular investments, objectives, financial situation, or needs of any specific investors.